Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Let me just move these around this way maybe. That would be better, I think, for moi. It's 10 years, if you can believe it. This bloody hell makes me feel a little bit old, as it were, since the Wii U released. I don't know if it's 10 years exactly here in the UK, but either way, I remember Happy Console Gamer did a video, and I like the Wii U. I think it's... I don't know why I like the Wii U, other than the fact that I like the games on it, although, to be fair, most of them have been ported to the Switch now, so I have no right to really still like the Wii U, I guess, but I still have one, and I still have it technically hooked up to my TV, which is just insane to say out loud. But yeah, so I thought, what better way to celebrate that milestone, achievement? I don't know if it's an achievement as much as a milestone, I suppose. But yeah, I just thought I might as well just come on here and talk about the Wii U games that I've got as a weirdo who collects lots of things because I'm on the spectrum. But and that isn't even a joke. But yeah, what should I do? I'll start finally. Oh, it's the 5th of December 2022. If anyone needed to know what day I was recording, or date I was recording this on. But yeah, first of all, we've got Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, a Nintendo Selects game. I haven't played this, unfortunately. I've heard naught but good things about it. It's supposed to be a really, really good... Because I have quite a few Wii U games, and I guess, not to brag about it, but I guess it's because at one point in my life, I don't know why, because again, I'm insane, probably, I wanted to collect all of the Wii U games, because I think, like, Johnny said in Happy Console Gamer, I think he said his video, he said something about it being a very easy to collect, like complete the collection sort of thing. Like there are 120, maybe 150 at most games, which sounds like a lot. But when you think the Switch, if you got every physical copy of a Switch game, including like sort of the shit ones and the top tier ones and everything in between, and then also all the indie games that then get physical releases sometimes, or games that you didn't think would get physical releases, like say Cuphead as an example, or like I don't know, I can't think of anything else that's got a physical release on Switch that you wouldn't expect to have a physical release. But the point being that there's probably like 1,000 plus games on Switch, so that is unobtainable in contrast to 120, 150 games. But anyway, I digress. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I don't know if I like this game, but I hope I do when I play it. I would like to play it soonish. It looks like a fun game. I've heard naught but good things about it because it's a 2D platformer, but it's really polished and it's more difficult than the Mario games. But I'm not good at 2D platformers, so I might hate it. Bayonetta 2, it's basically like an over-the-top anime, interactive anime. That's the only way I can describe it. And as someone who's, even though I am on the autism spectrum, lukewarm to anime, which is weird to say because most people either love anime or hate it. It's very Marmite, I've noticed. But again, me and my older brother are in a minority of people who, as I say, just sort of... I'm indifferent to anime, I guess. I'm 50-50 on it. There are some animes I've watched, some I haven't, and yeah, I have played this game, maybe 5 to 10 hours of this game. I don't know if I'm near the end or what, but it's sort of like a genre-wise, it's sort of like Devil May Cry, but with a witch that sometimes gets nude, and her hair is a weapon. And she has gun heels and guns and heels that are guns. And it's very over the top and very silly. So if that sounds like your jam, yeah, that's the game for you. Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, or Paintbrush even. Kirby and the Rainbow Paintbrush. I remember really enjoying this game. I can't remember if I 100%ed it or if I completed it. I want to say I've at least completed it because it's a Kirby game. Because, you know, it's what we call in the industry a baby game. But it's really cool art style, you know, like claymation. You know, what's not to love there. And it utilises the Wii U gamepad really well, actually, you know, because you actually have to use the stylus to draw stuff. And that, you know, it has a very Nintendo DS feel to it in that sense. But yeah, just fun and delightful and cutesy, charming. Again, a baby game in the sense that it's easy to complete it from point A to point B, but then it's like super difficult if you actually wanted to 100% it, probably. So it's one of those. It's one of those games on Nintendo games. Pikmin 3. I really enjoyed playing this game, although I don't know if it's just me. Please feel free to comment this below in the comment section, and I hope someone does, genuinely, because I used to get fucking cramp trying to play this game with the Wii U gamepad and sort of juggle looking at the map and throwing the Pikmin boys all over the place. But it's a brilliant game. Graphically, it looks great. It's just, again, another fun sort of, I don't know how to describe it, but just fun Nintendo game, really. It's it's got intuitive the controls are good, even though my hand hurt when I was playing it. And it's an RTS, really, when you think about it, but it's a cutesy RTS, but it's also, can be a little bit challenging and a bit stressful, I guess. It has been ported to Switch as well, so if you're watching this and you only have a Switch and not a Wii U, which is probably most people, to be fair, you can get it on the Switch as opposed to the Wii U. And I wonder if it'd play better on there because you have the Joy-Cons detached and you can do things there and stuff. But it's cool that they've, added new Pikmin and stuff, and 4 is coming out at some point, I think, in the future, so that's cool. I think I've got 1 on Wii, but I haven't got 3. Oh, I have got 3, but I haven't got 2, because that's supposed to be really rare now, apparently. Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, another game that's been ported to Switch. Really good, really fun. Very sort of Nintendo does Fez, the game Fez, basically, and also Toad Can't Jump. And also you get additional levels, Mario Odyssey themed levels in the Wii U. No, not Wii U. In the Switch port. I hate the fact that the copy that I've got's all wrinkly and crinkly for some reason. I can't remember if I got it from a second-hand place. I probably did. But yeah, I remember enjoying this game. I did complete it. I'm 90% sure I completed that game. I didn't complete Pikmin 3. I've still got probably like the second half of the game to play, if not a little bit more. I'd probably say anywhere between 50 and maybe 70% of the game to probably still play. Super Mario 3D World, that got ported to Switch, and then included Bowser's Fury, which looked cool, I guess. But this was fun, but I think my biggest criticism of it is that it's kind of probably better with friends, but then obviously being on a dead console or a console that wasn't very popular limits that, and even just generally it limits it because, these days people aren't meeting up as much because of online gaming and because the way of the world now and, COVID and that. But yeah, still a really polished, fun. Obviously, even the weaker or lower tier Mario games are still above average in terms of the gaming landscape and the impact that it had on the gaming world, I guess. Sonic and All-Star Racing Transformed. Yeah, I have this for some reason. I maybe played an hour or two, maybe 3 or 4 hours at most, God forbid, but it's just a poor man's Mario Kart, really, I guess. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. I've always wanted to go back to this because I love the art style, which is mad to say out loud because back in the day, in the early 2000s, this was lambasted and absolutely crucified as being shit because of the art style. But yeah, what was I going to say? I like the sort of chibi look to it and the sort of cel-shaded graphics and that, it makes it, oddly enough, timeless, I think, in a weird way, than some of the more realistic games, like your GTAs and what else? I can't think, Red Dead and that, Super Mario Maker, the original, I probably spent actually quite a decent amount of time on this, more than the sequel on Switch. But yeah, I even got the bundle with a little bit of an artwork thing and a 8-bit Mario dude, so that amiibo, so that was awesome. That was cool. And instead of being in your basic blue, baby blue box, it's in yellow. Yeah, I think the only criticism I have of this game is that now that we as fans and all gamers, users, gamers, whatever you want to call us, can make our own games or our own 2D levels, it's kind of made it. I think they've put themselves into a corner now as to what they can do next with 2D Mario, which might explain why there hasn't been a 2D Mario since Mario Maker 2, I guess. Devil's Third, it's just a really rare game, I guess. I haven't completed it. Oh, there's no single player either in Mario Maker, which I do prefer about Mario Maker 2, even though I can never get past certain levels in Mario Maker 2 in the single player. Oh, the controversial Pokken tournament. Oh my god, I spent like at least 50, maybe £80 on this game, and I've played it for 2 hours, which I hate saying out loud because I wasted so much money on it. And it did come with this cool card, and yeah, that's about it. I don't know what I was expecting from this. Clearly a lot more, and unfortunately it under-delivered, in my humble opinion. But I bet you it's a really good, fun fighting game for fighting fanatics, I guess. Yoshi's Woolly World, I think, got ported to 3DS and maybe even Switch. Yeah, it's a fun game. Another sort of cutesy game, very... yeah, in the industry would call it a baby game. Again, another one of those. Wool aesthetic, which I think... I don't know which I prefer, the wool aesthetic or the cardboard one of Yoshi's Crafted World. I don't know, but I like both for different reasons, I guess. Crafted World I did actually complete, whereas this I still haven't. But I think I'm probably... I don't think I'm actually even 60% through this, probably like 30%. I'm not very far. I don't know why I've not really tried to get through more of it. But yeah, as I say, it's a baby game, it's really easy, but if you wanted to 100% it, that's where the challenge is. Whoo, the OG Splatoon. I could talk about this for years. Hopefully I'm not gonna. But yeah, I think this really revitalized my interest in video gaming. I love this game. I can't say enough good things about it. I would love to meet the guy who pitched this idea, or one of the people behind it, the major creative behind it, because I can't say enough nice things about it. It's Nintendo doing a third-person shooter and adding colour to a genre that otherwise didn't have colour, and I don't really see how that's not more like talked about by people who play video games. I just, yeah. And the sheer sort of absurdity and just madness that is going from like an inkling, like a human form, to a squid, but it just works, you know, like in the context of the fictional world, but also in the context of like how you do it as the gamer, you know, like it just feels so, no pun intended, fluid, I suppose, a transition or a transformation, you know, and seeing some of the early gameplay ideas and how it went from tofu blocks to bunny rabbits with guns to then the inklings and the squids. And yeah, I mean, I guess my major criticism in retrospect to this game is that it's very sort of in contrast, obviously, Splatoon 3, which is the ultimate version of this game. Now, this is shallow, you know. But then again, how shallow is it when I spent 200 hours in this game, you know? Or at least 200 hours, if not more, in this game, you know. It's yeah, I wasted a lot of time, or sunk a lot of time into that one. And it is probably my favourite Wii U game, and it's probably in my top 5 favourite games of all time. Or maybe, at least maybe my top 10. Maybe not my top 5, but top 10, definitely. Really revitalised my interest in gaming, and I'd probably say after sort of secondary school, my interest was sort of waning a bit, and then this randomly came out of nowhere. I don't even know how I got into it. like in terms of like finding out about it, and then I just piqued my interest way back in gaming. Mario Kart 8, love it, brilliant game. If you don't have this on the Wii U, then what are you even playing on the Wii U? Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's a must-have game, and obviously Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is on Switch, has new DLC, which is coming out very soon, actually. It's the 5th of this recording, so in 2 days there'll be new Mario Kart tracks. Excellent. Added to that Switch one, but this was the basis, and it's such a strong, you know, not pun intended, but 8, 9 out of 10 sort of foundation that the, you know, Mario Kart Ultimate really is. Oh, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the ultimate version of Mario Kart, much like with Super Mario Maker. I think at this point Nintendo have kind of cornered themselves creatively with that franchise, but then it's like Nintendo gonna Nintendo in so much as they're gonna then just have Mario Kart in the Super Mario movie as a cameo, because why not? And that'll then hopefully pique people's interest in the RC augmented reality thing that they did, or the, you know, the arcades in Japan, or the copies of, you know, Mario Kart Deluxe will sell even more somehow, you know. So they'll probably prove me wrong, as they prove everyone wrong to Nintendo, because they've been around for 100 plus years as a company. Super Mario Bros. For Wii U, brilliant, phenomenal fighting game. Spent quite a decent amount of hours on this one, but nowhere near as many as these two previous games. This one I've spent at least 100 plus, anywhere between 150, maybe 180 hours, maybe, I don't know. And the amiibo thing's kind of cool as well. Smash Bros, brilliant game, but surpassed with the new one, I suppose, on Switch, but it's a good foundation. Hyrule Warriors, played a little bit of it, not my cup of tea, unfortunately. New Super Mario Bros, I really like this game, has a lot of nostalgia, for lack of a better term, for me, because I was good at the platforming and being a bit more methodical and pacing myself with that, whereas my older brother was better at doing the boss battles, and it's a game we both played. So again, when I look at this, when I think of this game, I associate it with playing it with my older brother, and the fun that I had there, even though it was probably torturous for both of us back then, but it was definitely fun, in my humble opinion. Lego City Undercover, again, a very nostalgic game, a very fun game. I think it even came with a... what did it come with? Oh wow, it comes with like a manual, that's why it's heavy feeling. Came with like a minifigure. I got the deluxe cardboardy boy, which came with like a minifigure. Very fun, it's baby's first GTA, baby game of GTA, and I don't see what the issue is there, because it's actually really fun, used the gamepad really well, finished the game from point A to point B, and always tried to 100% it, but I haven't. But it's one of those games that, even though it's not a Nintendo game, it is difficult if you want 100% it. Easy to, as I say, complete it linearly from point A to point B, but it's probably a bit more of a ball ache to complete 100%. But it did sometimes give my Wii U crashes, I think, from what I remember. But other than that, I have a lot of fun memories of playing that one. Nintendo Land, classic, brilliant, fun party game. I really enjoyed it. I even enjoyed some, keyword some, of the single player games as well as the co-op ones. And yeah, used the Wii U and the Wii remotes and the whole idea of the Wii U effectively, in my humble opinion, and was fun. A fun sort of launch game, and yeah, I remember that one being, for lack of a better term, just fun. And a game that they can't really, I don't think, port to Switch because of how much it uses the Wii U gamepad. Zombie U, it's okay. I don't really remember much of the single player. It used the Wii U gamepad okay, or at least tried to. Yeah, there's a weird map, which I always thought was a bit odd in the thing. And then, you know, Ubisoft made a big song and dance about supporting the Wii U for ages, and then obviously they dipped out as soon as the Wii U started not selling as many units as everyone anticipated, because everyone just anticipated that the Wii U would be a success straight out of the gate, because the Wii was, even though I suppose before that the GameCube wasn't really that much of a success compared to PS2 and Xbox. I don't think it was really in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, and then yeah, Wii, massive success. Wii U, not a success, and then Switch a success. But yeah, Zombie U. I remember the multiplayer, local multiplayer thing where one person drops in zombies places, and then the other person has to like actually play on the TV, and that the isometric gameplay of that was chef's kiss fun, you know, because it was like nothing else I'd ever played, and for me that was what I wanted, you know, that was, no pun intended I suppose, but what I was hungry for at that point in gaming, you know, something different than just, here's a controller, point A, point B, press A again to double jump, and, you know, do a thing in a multiplayer thing for the umpteenth time in Gears of War or Halo, you know, on your Xbox 360. So I was wanting something different, and although this isn't the best game in the history of ever, you know, these games were giving me something different, I suppose, you know, whether it be cutesy cop game, GTA, baby's first GTA, or Nintendo Land, or even Zombie U, do you know what I mean? That's kind of, for me, the legacy of the Wii U. It was giving me different experiences, and in a weird way, harkening back to the OG origin of gaming, in so much as you've got your, you know, your Marios and your Kirby and your Donkey Kong and that, but you've also got more out there left field games like your Zombie U's or your traditional Marios, but you've got your Hyrule Warriors, and you've got your Splatoon, or your Yoshi's Crafted World, or, you know, fucking Mario Maker. You know, that should have sold way more than it probably did, but because it was on, for lack of a better term, a dead console, it didn't do that well. But yeah, and I think that's probably why as well, quite a few games like Mario Maker and Yoshi's Woolly World, as an example, were then sidestepped and made into 3DS ports, but then they were watered down versions. You know, you couldn't do anything online on the 3DS version, but you could with the Wii U one, but then the Wii U one wasn't portable. But then the Wii U one wasn't selling because it was on a dead console. So, you know, I can see why there was an issue at Nintendo probably at that point, and why they even went into mobile gaming for a time, or tried to dip their toes in there and stuff. But yeah, in the weird sort of intermission between Wii U and Switch, I guess. But yeah, this was just a random rambly video about Wii U games. If you've enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.